Hello, my beautiful rock stars. It's your girl Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For my black buy of the day, or buy black buy, whatever. So this is from Fashion Spa. It was called that. I think it changed its name to the Sister Shop. Sister Girl. And then I think this is from the Rap Life, but it's also been a while, so I don't remember what it's called. I don't know if she's currently selling things. Sometimes, having a business where you're constantly making merch is not everyone's move. So I don't know if she's currently selling. She may be taking a break. But we'll see. Check her out. Yeah. But it's been a while. Where I got it from was actually the BWI airport, though. So yeah, shout out to her. And then today's topic. Women are choosing to settle. Wait. I wrote that wrong. Women are choosing to be single rather than settle. And I just wanted to kind of dive into this topic. I've been seeing it float around online. So yeah, kind of want to dive into it. So first, we have to clarify what we mean by settling. And for that, definitely check out my previous video, What Are You Dating For? What Are Your Dating Goals? Where I break down what my standards are, because my standards have nothing to do with money, have nothing to do with appearance. Yeah, it all has to do with character traits and values. So my standards are a little bit different than other people's. So the quote-unquote settling needs to be clarified, as well as the Disney fairy tale that a lot of us grew up on as 90s babies, as well as rom-coms. And then I have another video up dissecting that, because that's really fascinating as well. But other than that, somebody made a point that it doesn't matter if it's realistic or unrealistic standards, that they're not settling and that's their choice. So basically, settling is when you are tolerating someone who is incompatible with what you want in a relationship. And the reason you may be tolerating that is just so you have a relationship. And a lot of women, especially Black women, are saying, I don't need a relationship that bad. I'm not sacrificing myself and just to be in a relationship with someone who I don't want to be in a relationship with because they don't meet my standards, right? And someone made the argument of like, it doesn't matter if they're unrealistic standards. I have that choice. I have that right. And it doesn't matter what other people think about it. And that's completely valid. Like, if you choose that, then that's completely fine. Now, I also have videos in my Becoming a Feminine Woman series where I'm like, well, if you do want a man, these are things to consider. But a lot of women are saying, I don't want one that bad. I'll be good by myself, right? So they're choosing to be single rather than settle. Now, I also wanted to talk about the happy and single, right? So shout out to Black women, because y'all are doing it big professionally and educationally. Y'all are doing it. And not only are you gaining leadership positions in big companies, as well as opening your own businesses, you're also traveling and investing in your self-care and going to therapy, and you're doing a lot of things for yourself. Now, I will say, those who say they are happy and single, we don't have to complain about the men. Because if you are accepting, as well as finding full fulfillment and joy in not centering romantic relationships, then go do that. Why are you over here bashing men left and right if that's not what you want? But I think in that community, it is what you want. You just aren't finding valid options. But for those who are saying no, valid option or not, I'm okay by myself. I think there is a beauty in decentering romantic relationships, and that you start prioritizing other relationships, whether that's platonic friendships or familial or communal or things like that. Like, being polyamorous, it was a restructuring of how I viewed relationships. And America, with rom-coms and Disney fairy tales and things like that, we very much put romantic relationships on a pedestal and dismiss and devalue other types of relationships. Like, why can't we have physical touch with our friends? right? And intimacy in that way. Why can't we decide to buy a home with our friend and co-parent together? Like, what? And then the fact that marriage now is a fraud if it's not romantic, when it was never romantic in the past. Like, who are you to say I can't get these benefits? I'm just saying, like, yeah, I think there's a beauty in strengthening other forms of relationships that we have to people. And I think because of the I'd rather be single than settle, women are finding that. They're finding that community, and they're not just sitting at home alone, where no one's gonna take care of you in your old age type of thing. I think they are building that network and that support system, and I think that's beautiful. But yeah, just why are we complaining if you are happy? Now sure, multiple things could be valid at once, whereas like, because of the lack of valid options within black men, right? A lot of people say if you go outside of black men, then you have more opportunities, which just logistically is real, right? But yeah, if you want a valid option and are unhappy about not having it and still want a black man, that's when I would say address your standards. Because it's something you want, right? Whereas if you don't want that and actually accept not wanting that, then yeah, there's freedom in just being, right? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments below. But I also wanted to say, in relation to like men not marrying, they're still getting the goods, you know? They still get to have sex, they still get to cohabitate, they still get to have children, all without marriage. So now it's like the benefits of marriage. Whereas like back in the day, I think marriage was beneficial to men more so. They like lived longer, they had someone taking care of them, food, and just health and stuff like that. And now, and then women had men taking care of them financially, but that was pretty much it. And now, back in the day when women didn't have rights, and it's still questionable, but now, you know, women are able to financially support themselves, so they need men differently. And then also there is the women who aren't cooking and cleaning, who aren't taking care of the kids. The kids are off at daycare and things like that. So there's a big question of the benefit of marriage, and there's a lot of stress on independence. I don't think we have sustained the value of interdependence and working together in collectivism. I think that has been lost to assimilation and integration. But yeah, I think a lot of people are coming into it as, what do I get out of it? And it's very transactional in that way. Versus like companionship, right? Stability, like other things that are beneficial to marriage or life partnership, again, aren't solely related to romantic. You can have companionship in a platonic life partner, right? So yeah, it's an interesting conversation that we're currently in, and I'm very fascinated to see what the future holds, because a lot of women are choosing not to have children. A lot of women are choosing not to pursue romantic relationships. A lot of men aren't choosing to get married. So yeah, I'm very fascinated to what relationships look like in the future and what families look like in the future. I'm very curious to see what history tells us, right? But I will say, if it didn't work out with my husband, I said that I would take a break from men, because the dating pool will never be better than when I was at a HBCU. And I stand by that. It will never be better than when I was at a HBCU. You know how many quality men were available to me, I had access to, all within proximity? Like, bruh, never again. So that being said, yeah, I probably would just date women. And I feel like we understand a lot of what we're going through, but I've also never been in a queer relationship, so I don't know the nuances of that. So yeah, I think we are in an interesting time within our community and culture. I understand why men don't want to get married. Even though now some women are becoming breadwinners, so the alimony isn't necessarily to the woman, sometimes it's to the man. And then I understand why women are staying single rather than entertaining these men just to find out all this other stuff, you know, like why put up with the just ongoing questioning process, and it's exhausting, right? Versus just enjoying a connection. And it doesn't have to go anywhere. And yeah, it's you're not risking anything, right? There's safety in that. Or some women are turning to celibacy, and they're doing that too, you know. And there's toys out there, and a lot of women rely on clitoral stimulation anyway. So, you know, it's interesting time that we are in, and it's interesting seeing how we got here, and it's interesting to see where we will go. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you one of the women who are single rather than settle? Are you married? Are you in a long-term relationship? Have you ever been in a relationship? That's a new one. Some of these young people, they've always been in situationships and never had been in an official committed relationship, whether it was monogamous or non-monogamous. But yeah, it's very interesting times that we live in, for sure. But again, if you want to be in a relationship with a man, I do think at least, and it's like, why should I have to lower my standards? Again, your options are, you do, with the possibility of getting a black man. Not to say that every black man needs lower standards. You just increase your chances, right? Again, it's already hard to meet people. You just increase your chances of opportunity, and then you could also date interracially and date outside of, you know, black men. And you can also be single and celibate. There's also that too. You know, so those are your options. Choose your hard. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I think when I was 25 and I was questioning whether or not it would work out with my husband, that's when I started like, yeah, if it's not going to work out with him, then I guess, you know, marriage isn't in the cards for me. So what do I want my life to look at? And that's when I was like, I need to build up my platonic support system. I need to factor in how to have kids, because I still really wanted kids. A single mom by choice, right? And I really was like, I want my life to be fulfilled, even though I don't have this romantic relationship, something that I really wanted. So yeah, it's possible for sure. And not everyone desires marriage. Not everyone desires romantic relationships. Not everyone desires life partnership. Being in the polyamorous community has definitely opened my eyes to that not everybody wants the dream we've been sold, basically. It's not everyone's dream, and it's okay, you know. So I think there's also that, factoring the happy and single population into that too. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, take care of you. Light and love.